Even though we are only 7 games into a 162 game season, we are back with more Baltimore Orioles content here on the Flex Zone podcast. Baltimore Orioles, and the only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. While we still have 155 more games remaining on the baseball schedule, the Orioles find themselves at 3-4 and have lost their first home series of the season to a division rival, the rising Boston Red Sox. It's the Baltimore Orioles post-game show. It's the Flex Zone. Swing for the fences. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a like, hit that thumbs up, and make sure you break and ball that bell to know when all of our content drops. We do live streams for the Orioles, post games as you see, and much more content throughout the year. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the start of the season after 7 games and how you feel about this team with 155 games left. But let's get to it and let's get it popping on the post game show. Orioles are losers today by a score of 8-4. Charlie Morton didn't have his best stuff. But before we get to that, the big story, the elephant in the room, when is Gunnar Henderson going to return? Remember, he missed the start of the season. He's missed the first 7 games due to the intercostal injury, which is pretty much the area between the rib. So, an abdomen type injury, a rib type injury, and pretty much it's nothing severe, nothing we need to be worried about long term. It seems to be something that is essentially a timing aspect with the injury. When he got hurt, it did not allow him to get enough at bats to be ready for the regular season. But if you look at Gunner's numbers right now, in a limited, small sample size, and what he did at Norfolk, he's ready to come back. He's ready to dominate, ready to show why he is the Baltimore Orioles' best player and why he's going to be in the MVP conversation for years to come. At Norfolk, 5 hits and 19 at bats. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and an OPS of .879. So Gunnar Henderson is doing the damn thing. He is, like I said, pretty much where you would want to be. He's pretty much what hitting 263 right now. So it's I am expecting big things from Gunnar when he returns. The OPS, I love it, almost 900. He's hit 2 long balls. You saw the 1 home run nearly hit to the street. The all-world power that he possesses, 4 runs batted in. He gets on base. He can steal bases. He can play stellar defense. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. He can hit the ball the other way. He's one of the best players in baseball. He's a rising superstar, and I'm going to enjoy him while we have him here in Baltimore. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to cry about what could happen. We know he's a Scott Boras agent. We know he wants to eventually get paid, I'm sure, and he will only get high above market value. But we still got some good years with him left, and I think he's going to bring big things. He is expected to join the team tomorrow in Kansas City. They start a road trip. They go to Kansas City, and they face the Kansas City Royals, the team that eliminated them from the playoffs last year, swept them. They will see Seth Lugo, who pitched fantastically last year for the Royals, who pitched fantastic in the series last year against the Orioles. And Dean Kramer will be on the mound, who got the win in Toronto last week. He'll be making his second start. So, good news there on the injury front. It's nothing severe with Gunner. It's not to the level of a Grayson. It's not to the level of a Kittredge. It's not to the level of a Bradish or a Tyler Wells. We're working Felix Batista in. He's only been used sparingly. We're going to get Gunner back. Unfortunately, you lost Cowser. You got depth in the outfield. The roster move would have been tough anyway if Cowser was healthy. Now, with Cowser out, Carson having options, they can now go back to putting him in the minors. And remember, Brian Baker, who we'll get to a little later, he's been the best reliever so far. He does not have any options, so they can't send him on the AAA Express, the Norfolk Express, the Norfolk ride back and forth and shuttle him. So there you go. But courtesy of Masson there, we see Gunner doing big things. But let's get to the game today. Red Sox mashed 3 2-run home runs led by their all-world, all-superstar signing, Alex Bregman, who was late in the free agency cycle right before the season started. And they beat him 8-4. Now the Red Sox and Orioles both find themselves at 3-4, just 7 games into the season. The game started with a 2-run home run in the first, as Charlie Morton did give up a 2-run home run to Alex Bregman. It was his first as a Red Sox, first of the season. The Orioles come back. Cedric Mullins leading off today. Love to see it. Cedric Mullins is off to a fantastic start. We know about the contract situation. Cedric Mullins is the Orioles MVP 7 games in. For whatever that's worth, he's doing the damn thing. He hits a leadoff home run. His first time he's leading off in the lineup since September 2023. Remember, he was moved down last year because of the tumultuous second half. He was the only offense in the playoffs. And you see it today. He's leading off. He knows the burden that it takes. He has the ability to power the speed. He leads off with a home run, his 17th career leadoff home run. Charlie Morton did strike out 7 batters in the first 3 innings, but two-run home runs. So, like we always say, you're going to give up home runs. These are the best players in the world. You're in a tough division. Oriole Park at Camden Yards. We know they moved the wall in. We know about the friendly dimensions when it's warm and the ball carries. You want to keep those as solo shots, but walking guys to lead off innings, walking guys, putting guys on base, making a solo home run, a 2-run home run. So instead of 2 solo home runs where you only give up 2 runs, you give up 2 2-run home runs. You give up double the amount of runs. You're down 4 to 1, 4-1. He only threw 65 pitches. In the third inning, the Orioles just pretty much were. It was a weird inning. They had a strikeout, and another strikeout. 2 straight strikeouts. So it was 2 outs, nobody on. Then they got a walk, a stolen base, another walk, which we talk about walks are deadly, like penalties in football. You don't want to commit them. Then a single from Jordan Westburg, which was an RBI, cut the lead from Boston down to 4-2. Then in the fourth, Ramon Urias, a 2-out RBI single. They were down 5-3. Heston Kjerstad had a double in that inning. Good to see Heston hitting a double, getting opportunity with Kowser hurt. This is a big year for Kjerstad. I want to see what he can bring to the table in a consistent role, not being shuttled as well in the lineup on a regular basis. And Urias, the ultimate utility guy. You need a guy like Urias on your team. Sometimes I don't like him. Sometimes he gets on my nerves. Sometimes I'm like, why is this guy playing? He's nothing but a rotational bench depth piece, but he can play every position and every position well. And he's hitting the ball early in the season. This is probably what the second clutch hit I can remember off the top of my head already. He seems to be in a decent groove as well. Charlie Morton strikes out the side in the fifth. So he had 10 strikeouts at this point. Struck out all 3 batters. He had 98 pitches, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. And the 2 walks led to the 2 2-run home runs as well. It was his 28th double-digit strikeout total in his career. Then Brian Baker comes in. Brian Baker, a guy out of options, a guy who was terrible in their series against Texas a few years back. Last year was up and down. You know, they shuttled him to and from AAA. He's out of options. He's a big piece with Kittredge gone down. Flores injured. Can't forget him as well. It's going to be intriguing to see if he can continue this pace, but the Orioles bullpen overall has been pretty solid up until today. Brian Baker comes in the sixth. Then at 41, speaking of Charlie Morton, at 41 years and 142 days, Charlie Morton is the oldest pitcher in the Orioles/Browns franchise with 10 or more strikeouts in a game. Only other pitchers to do that in the last 20 seasons. Randy Johnson did 5 times, Rich Hill, and Orlando Hernandez. So he's the oldest pitcher with 10 or more strikeouts in a game. So, wow. In the last 20 years, and I'll bring up the tweet so you guys can see it. You're in great company with anytime you're on the list with Randy Johnson. And we can't forget Rich Hill. We know how long he's been playing for the Freeze, but these are some great names, some great company to be a part of. As you can see, it's great to see them. And that's the thing about Charlie Morton. He is defeating Father Time right now. We look at LeBron James, we look at Tom Brady, we look at some of the other greats, Vince Carter, guys who played into their 40s and at a high level. And he's going to pitch over 150 innings. He stays healthy for the most part, knocking on this wood of my desk. And he is going to go deep in the games. He's going to give you 5, 6 innings. And he has the ability to strike out double-digit guys. And like you saw in the tweets just there, the problem is when you lead off an inning with a walk, and you give up a home run, it doubles the damage. And that was the story of the game today. The Orioles offense was not able to really get sustained long term. But Brian Baker, he has 4 and 2/3 of scoreless innings as well. So he came in and was fantastic in the sixth. Keegan Aiken, another guy like who I think is going to have a solid season and needs to step up with the injuries to Kittredge and Suarez. He retired the first 2 batters in the seventh, but there goes that man. Mama, there goes that man again, Alex Bregman. You see why they gave him a big contract, a 3-year deal. He had a double. Tristan Cassis homered, and the left field wall was not a problem for the Red Sox. 377 feet home run as well. And then just real quick, Alex Bregman, Christian Campbell, and Tristan Cassis all had 2-run home runs. The Red Sox won 8-4. Cedric Mullins had the leadoff home run in the first, but Charlie Morton falls to 0-2. He allowed 5 runs in his home debut. 10 strikeouts, great, but 2 2-run home runs. Bregman went deep for his first RBI of the season as well. Remember, then Campbell, this morning today, Christian Campbell, for the game. So he just got paid and he goes out and proves why they paid him. He gets $7.5 million a year. The rising young second baseman star. He has potential. They got a favorable deal. I want to see when the Orioles maybe start to handle some extensions like this. Maybe not the West, not necessarily the Henderson or Rutschman, but maybe the Westberg, maybe the Cowser, maybe to some of these other players who are on the horizon to get paid. So we'll see what happens. His home run after Campbell's home run made it 4-1. Cassis made it 7-3 in the seventh. So the Orioles were playing pretty much from behind all day. He was 2 for 20. 2 for 21 was Cassis coming into today with no RBIs. So he was struggling to start the season. All 3 home runs were to left field. We've been making a lot of fuss, a lot of talk about the left field wall. The wall has been moved back up. The shot reached the seats from the other two did not. So there you go. The wall. How many home runs has it saved? How many home runs has been killed by Baltimore? There you go. These 3 home runs got out of here today. Tanner Houck allowed 3 runs in 4 innings. He wasn't great, but he was, I guess, better than Morton just because he didn't give up two-run home runs. Zach Kelly, who's one of their stellar relievers, got the win. He improved to 1-0 as well. As I said, Bregman signed a 3-year, $100 million contract, a big move, which I thought really put Boston in the conversation. You got him. I know Devers is struggling. You got Cassis. You got Zach Kelly in the bullpen. You have Garrett Crochet, who pitched fantastic last night. Tristan Cassis, Christian Campbell, as I mentioned, Alex Bregman, Devers. Like I said, you got Crochet, who's one of the best pitchers in the league, just hasn't really gone deep into games because they haven't pitched a lot of innings. The lefty caused a lot of problems with the Orioles. We know how they historically have struggled with, and this Red Sox team is going to be a team to deal with. I'm not saying they're going to win a division. I'm not saying they're the best team in the AL East. But if you want to say Yankees, Orioles, Red Sox, or you want to put the Red Sox right there with the Orioles, or you want to put the Red Sox right there with the Yankees too, because I think right now we'll look at the standings. I mean, it's anybody's race right now. Toronto's 5-2, and we know they started out 2-2 with the Orioles. I would love to see the Orioles win that series, but it is what it is. But like I always say, you can't win a division in April, but you can lose it. But this division looks like it's going to be as tough as we think. Now, uh, after allowing 1 run in 5 innings on Thursday, the Boston bullpen's getting it done. 2.05 ERA. As mentioned, the Orioles will be back on the road, go to Kansas City, have Gunnar Henderson back. Dean Kramer takes them out against Steph Lugo. So that's going to be tough for the Orioles as well. The Red Sox play their home opener Friday against the St. Louis Cardinals. Walker Buehler, former Dodger, former world champion, another underrated signing. If this guy stays healthy, I think he will have a solid season. Takes them out against Eric Fetty of the Cardinals. I like Eric Fetty, but Cardinals right now in first place in the NL Central. Let's look at the standings in the AL East. As you can see, let's pull them up here. Standings of the Major League Baseball, and then we'll get ready to get out of here. But let's look at the standings so you guys can see kind of what is going on. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. AL East right here so you can see. All right, so far AL East, real quick standings. Blue Jays 5-2, Tampa Bay Rays. Can't forget about them. They're always in the mix, playing in a AAA ballpark. They're winning. They got a lot of home games to start the season. If they get off to a fast start, are they going to be in the mix? And Red Sox both 3-4. Red Sox have not played a home game yet. So the AL East already in flux. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a fun race. And you kind of see it's going to be tight throughout most of the season, which I thought it would be. And it's showing there. You look at the Central, everybody's 2-4. And that's going to be a tough division. You look at the West, that's going to be tough. Rangers 5-2, Angels 4-2, Mariners, Astros, Athletics, all within striking distance of each other. It's funny because the American League, you can probably make a case for double-digit teams to make it run. You can say most of the AL East, if not all of it, most of the AL Central outside the White Sox, and most of the AL West outside maybe the Athletics and the Angels. So the AL is wide open. The NL, the NL East looks like the Phillies are running away with it early on. The Braves 0-7, no 0 after starting with that type of record. Marlins 4-3, Nationals 1-5, and the Mets right around 500. As I mentioned in the Central, Cardinals 4-2, Cubs 5-4, Reds 2-4, Brewers 2-4, and Pirates 2-5. And the Dodgers and the Padres, both the two lone undefeateds, 8-0 for the Dodgers, best start by a defending world champion. Padres 7-0. Remember, they had a really good series last year. The Padres had the Dodgers on the rope at home, up 2-1, chance to close it out. And we know they lost that game. The rest is history. Giants 5-1, surprisingly. And they got some good pieces as well. I like what they did in the offseason. Shout out to them. They got some pieces. Like I said, I think the Giants are much, much improved. Diamondbacks 4-2. They're going to be in the mix. And outside of the Rockies, like with the AL Central with the White Sox, they're not in any type of competitive forecasting anytime soon. But you see, the NL is going to be fun too. If the Padres NL East, it will be fun over there as well, and it'll be intriguing to see how the season goes. Like I said, it's only 7 games in. Only 7 games in, 155 left. The Dodgers obviously have played 8 games because they played the 2 in Japan, but it's going to be fun to see. I'm excited. It's unfortunate the Orioles did lose today. You don't want to lose games. You don't want to very early in the season and be happy about it. But you're 3-4. The Red Sox are 3-4. They now have a 2-1 season advantage. You split against Toronto. You have a chance to right that wrong. You go to Kansas City, and that's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy, but you have a chance to get some measure against a team that but they go to the Royals, and it's gonna be interesting to see. Like I said, they hit the road. They get Gunnar Henderson back, which is gonna be brings to the equation. Can't wait to see what he does as he returns to the lineup. Does he bat leadoff? Maybe do they keep Cedric Muff? Maybe put Gunnar a little further down for now in the lineup. That'll be fun. But real quick, they go to Kansas City, then they go to Arizona. So they'll get a will they even see? They won't even see Corbin Burns, it looks like, according to this right now. But they'll see Gallen, Kelly, and Poffit. So no Corbin Burns reunion for now. So we'll see if things change. Then you come back home and you got Toronto. So the next next 9 games going to be very, and they go 6-3. Man, I think that'd be a good mark. Remember, I wanted to see 25 wins between the end of March when they started to the end of April. I think 25-11 was what we were saying. So let me know. Let me know how you feel about that down in the comment section. Flex Zone family, God's favorite hosts, Baltimore Orioles post game show. Gunnar Henderson returns tomorrow. Orioles lose. Charlie Morton strikes out 10 but gives up 2 2-run home runs. Red Sox win 8-4. Orioles head to Kansas City and then to Arizona. This is the official Baltimore Orioles post-game show. Yours truly, God's favorite host. Leave us a like. It helps us out tremendously and costs you nothing if you made it this far. Leave a comment also. Let me know your thoughts on the season. Only 7 games in. We got a long way to go. So put your seatbelts on. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy but fun ride. and God's favorite host will be taking you through it. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, leave a comment. Orioles lose 8-4, fall to 3-4 early in the season.